Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Northwest Craftsman. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing on a Dovoh 360-degree laser level. Now I've been wanting a laser level around my shop for a while, but before I get started, I need to give a full disclaimer that Dovoh did send me this free of charge so that I could do a video on it. Not this particular video, but a future video where I can kind of show the uses of it. However, before I have any sponsors come to me, there's two criteria that they have to meet. Number one, it has to be something that I'm actually going to use in my shop, and as I said, I have been looking for one of these for a while. And then two, they have to allow me to be completely honest with it the entire time. And Dovoh actually spelled this out before I was even able to approach them with this, so they said they really want me to be honest with it. So I said, as a part of that process, I need to do the unboxing and testing video so that I can go through and show my viewers what exactly comes in the box, and then two, make sure that it actually works the way that's intended. So at the end of this video, once we're done with the unboxing, I'm going to go through and I'm going to test the accuracy at the length that they specify so that I can see how accurate it truly is. Go ahead and stay tuned for that. First part, we're going to unbox, and then we'll get to the accuracy test. Let's go. For anybody that is unfamiliar, a laser level is used to project a line that self-levels across your shop. Some of them are horizontal only, some of them are vertical, some of them have both horizontal, vertical, or a combination of all three. This one has all three, one horizontal and two vertical. Starting off with first impressions on the packaging, it seems to be packaged very well. It was tightly packaged into the outer box, and then right on the box itself, they have all of the specifications that I'm going to be measuring to, which is really handy because they're just right up front with what they claim this thing can do. After opening the cardboard packaging, there is a hard-sided case on the inside which holds all of the different tools. It seems pretty sturdy, definitely more than just the average canvas carrying case. On opening it up, everything has its own nice foam cut compartment and everything was pretty tightly fitting in there. And then here at the top you have the instructions manual, and I'm going to be going straight through it like I always do so that you guys can see exactly what the manufacturer recommends so we can see what's clear and what is not. Looking at each one of the components that comes with it, first up we have this reflective target, a USB-C battery charger, then we have two batteries supplied with it, a 5-volt plug-in charging adapter, a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, a large multi-function mount is the only really way that I can describe this. It's got a bunch of different mounting methods on it. We've got some green lensed glasses to help enhance the laser line. And then last but not least, we have the laser level unit itself. With that introduction to all the different parts, the first thing that you're going to want to do is charge your batteries. The instructions say that you need to charge them for at least 8 hours. On the charger, there is a light that will indicate when it's fully ready to go. However, if you are like me and would like to get started immediately, they do provide you with an option to plug it straight in using the wall adapter and the cable provided. And there we go. As you'd expect, just put the USB-C cable into the USB-C port. If you are also like me, you forgot to read a critical part of the directions, which says that you have to unlock it before it will power on. That unlock switch can be found on the other side and looks just like this. As you can see, once you unlock it, it automatically powers on and starts projecting the first horizontal line. Working through the controls on the top, the bottom left button, which has an H on it, controls whether or not the horizontal line is on or off. The bottom right button, which is a V, cycles through the vertical line options from front to side to both on to both off. The top center button is both the pulse and hold angle mode. If you see that bluish purple light on, it means that it's pulsing at 10,000 hertz, not visible to our human eye, but the readers will pick it up at a much longer distance. If you click and hold this button for 2 seconds, it will lock the beams in place, and then you can set it to any angle because it will not self-level. This is especially useful if you want to mark a very specific drop over a distance. With all the basic features of the laser out of the way, I wanted to go through and talk about their Swiss Army mount. They've got the 1/4-20, which is standard for all camera adapters. On the backside, they've got a much larger size. I don't know what that's actually for. They've got a spot so that you can pound a nail or a screw into the wall and hang it from the wall. They have some clamps up here so that if you have a piece of wood or a piece of metal or something that you can stick it to, you can clamp it there. They have this somewhat rack and pinion mechanism so that you can do some fine-tune height adjustments. And then if you pop open this bottom piece, they've got some magnets exposed so that if you've got I-beams or steel or something metal that you can stick it to, you can just stick it right to it. Seems like this might be useful if you don't have a tripod. However, I'm just going to be sticking my same camera mount to the 1/4-20 hole on the bottom and then mounting it to my tripod. I realized after trying to film this that this is basically impossible for me to do one-handed, but I do finally get it and it looks pretty good up there. Here's a quick power on test that I did that also illustrates a great point. If you are over 4 degrees out of level, it will beep at you and flash all of the lights. As for the unboxing and use of the tool, that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple all the way through and pretty simple to operate. But now we're going to be moving on to the accuracy portion of the test, because that's what I really care about with this tool, because there's no reason in having a level if you're not sure that it's accurate. So how are we going to measure a laser level's accuracy, you might ask? Well, it's actually pretty easy. I'm going to take it to one side of my shop, which happens to be about 33 feet long on the dot, and then using a machinist ruler on the other side, I'm going to make note of where it hits. On the side of my shop where the laser level is, I am going to be placing a mark so that I can keep track of that. Once I have both of those measurements and markings done, I am going to rotate the laser level 180 degrees, line it up with the line that is closest to the laser level, and then go check the change in measurement on the opposite side of my shop. It is worth noting that this took me a couple of tries to do, so here are the two measurements side by side so that you can see the actual difference. Now, I don't have a ton of experience with other laser levels, but I was a little bit disappointed how wide the beam was at this point. It was basically a full 1/8 of an inch, so I'm going to be looking at the top side of the laser so that we can try and get an idea of how much it shifted. So then looking at that shift. To my eye, it looks like it shifted up by about 2.5/16 of an inch. I could convert that to 32nds of an inch, but about 2.5/16, which coincidentally, if you do the math on how far they're allowed to shift based on their spec, is basically spot on their spec. Next, in order to test the vertical lasers, we're going to be doing something similar, except in this case, because we don't have that wall to align with, we have to align to 2 sticks on the floor, which are not going to move. They said mark the floor, but I've got plenty of these lying around the shop. So basically, this laser is just kissing the edge of it. You can see it on the leading and the trailing edge, just kissing the edge there. And then I've got another one across the shop doing the same thing, so that I can make sure that as I rotate this around, I am hitting it exactly the same each time between 2 of these. With both of those lined up, I can then measure using a machinist rule on my ceiling. Sorry for all of the dust on my lens. And then I can basically compare it between this and rotated 180 degrees to see how much it shifted. Now, I'm not going to force you guys watching me going through and aligning everything and getting everything set up, but in one direction it was a 1/16 of an inch off, and in the other direction it was just a hair under a 1/16 of an inch off, which by their spec at the height that I'm measuring at, I should be off by only about 1/32 of an inch, so technically it's out of spec, but I don't know if I really trust my eyeballs on this machinist rule to pick out 1/32 of an inch, because I was pretty darn close. Now, one of the other claims that this laser level makes is how bright it is, and so I wanted to test it both on power and on battery to make sure that on the battery power it's not any dimmer. Here's what it looks like on the powered setting. You can see that just on the close side, and then all the way across the shop, this is what it looks like on the wall. This testing was done after the obligatory 8 hours, so I was going to pop the battery in, which you can do on this bottom compartment right here. Super, super easy to do. And to my eye, I don't really see that big of a difference. I don't know if it comes through on camera, but they were just about dead equal to my eyes in the real world. I mean, maybe a hair brighter on the battery, but really no difference. So that brightness test was in my shop, which is again about 33, 35 feet long, somewhere in there. Wanted to move it outside, which this tool is not rated for the outdoors, but I wanted to see how well it did. As a first sort of informal test, just about 10 feet away in the shade on my shop door, you can see the laser line come up pretty cleanly, so I would be able to use this if I was outside, but again, it's only 10 feet away and it is in the shade. My next plan was to take the measuring tape and basically walk away from the laser level to see how long I could just see it on the measuring tape, but that went pretty poorly pretty quickly because I just lost track of it. And that's where I broke out their target, which because of the green fluorescent nature to it and the reflective backing, it did magnify the signal a little bit, and so it made it a little bit easier to walk away and still see the light. Overall, I was able to walk to about 45 feet away from the laser level and still see it on this green target. If you want to go further than that, that is what the pulse mode is intended for, and it is supposed to be able to go almost up to 200 feet. So if you're going to be working outside in construction, that might be the place that you want to go, but I'm not exactly 100% sure because I don't get a chance to test one of those. Outside of the accuracy and the brightness, the other thing that they advertise pretty heavily is a 2-year warranty for quality and a 5-year warranty for accuracy. Given that I don't really have a time machine, I can't test those, but it is something that they advertise, which seems a little bit longer than the other ones that I was seeing on the market. On the whole, I do feel like I can stand behind this laser level both for accuracy and for brightness. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave them in the comment section, and if you would like to get one of your own, please click on the link in the description. That is an Amazon affiliate link, so I do get a small percentage of that coming back to the channel, just like with all of the other links. Thank you guys tons. Have a great one. Happy woodworking. Bye.